Hey y'all. So I had surgery yesterday. Well, I guess I had an incision yesterday. I got skin cancer. Let me back up. So in January, I started getting these weird rashes all over my body. And Ryan wasn't getting them. My son Silas, who is 12 months old, can't take care of himself. Like, I very much am hands-on taking care of him. Wasn't getting anything. I was the only one who was getting these weird rashes. I thought they would go away on their own. They didn't. So in February, I called a dermatologist and I said, hey, I've been getting these weird rashes for like a month now. It's not going away. Can I have someone take a look at it and like tell me what it is? They told me they couldn't get me, this is February, they couldn't get me in until April. 2 months away, over 2 months away, because they were so backed up. So, I was like, okay, well, they must not be that concerned about it, so I decided not to get concerned about it. In January, I found out I was pregnant, so I was a little freaked out by these weird red rashes. By March, I got freaked out enough to just go to a quick care clinic, you know, those clinics that are open later and you can just go in there and whatever. So I was like, hey, I'm having these rashes. I called a dermatologist. They said they couldn't get me in. I'm just freaking out about these. Can you just tell me, can you figure out, maybe tell me what this is, or maybe they could get me in faster if they thought I was having a problem or whatever. And I thought my OB was going to be mad at me for not, like, dealing with it sooner, you know what I mean? Like, because I had called in February and they didn't seem concerned, and I just kind of let it go. So the quick care clinic determined that it was ringworm and prescribed me a lotion to use, topical lotion. Ringworm, for those of you who don't know, is not a worm. It's not, I'm not that gross, but it is a circular shaped rash, and they said it's really common with like wrestlers. I'm like, where the heck did I get ringworm? Like, that's totally random. And they said, I mean, you can get it at a grocery cart at the grocery store. I mean, you can get it anywhere. And I was like, well, this is so weird. Like, nobody else around me has gotten ringworm. I don't know anybody who's gotten ringworm, so I have no idea where I got it. Somebody did say they got ringworm from like a toilet seat I was talking to somebody about, and I was like, there were some on my legs, so I very well could have gotten it from a public toilet seat, which just freaks me out. Anyways, so they told me, okay, we're giving you this cream. If your ringworm doesn't clear up by the time you're supposed to go to this appointment, why don't you, if it clears up, don't go to the appointment. If it doesn't clear up, go to the appointment. So I still had this ringworm. I could not kick this ringworm. I wasn't doing the cream twice a day, I'll be honest. I was already overwhelmed with everything else that was going on. Mornings for me are hectic, so I was only doing it at night. I was doing it once a day. And we also had some trips in there. I don't think I brought the cream with me. There were some days I skipped. I wasn't very religious about this cream. I didn't like using this cream. I wouldn't let it touch my fingers. I would only let it touch like the palm of my hands. I was like rubbing it in. Finally, I started using Q-tips because I just didn't like it on my hands. I was like washing my hands. I was afraid I was gonna get it like toxic in my mouth, and I'm pregnant and I didn't want it affecting this baby. I didn't want it affecting my current baby, Silas, that I had. Because I mentioned I was pregnant, right? Yes. So I don't know. I was just really freaked out about this cream. I didn't want birth defects, or I don't know. I was really freaked out with the cream. I also know that Silas puts everything in his mouth. Everything I touch, toys, anything, he's teething, gets stuff in his mouth, right? So I just hated using this cream on my hands. So I really didn't like it, and so on my arms I would wear like long sleeve, and yeah, and I was actually doing good where I was like only using one towel a week, because I had this habit of using a towel each time I showered. Well, once I got the ringworm, I went back to doing it that way. And anyways, so I still have the ringworm. I go to this dermatology appointment, and they're like, yeah, you still have ringworm, and they still prescribe me this exact same cream. Like, literally no different than... They took pictures of it, and then we're like, okay, we'll monitor it. If you still have it in, I don't even know how many months, you can come back. But since they had me get naked, since it was on my arms and my legs, and they just thought they'd check me all the way through, they did check me over, and they found a mole in the middle of my back where I wouldn't normally see it, that they thought was suspicious. Very suspicious mole. So they were like, that needs to come off today. And I was like, what? You gonna remove a mole? Like, they didn't ask me, hey, can we remove this mole? It looks suspicious. It was kind of like, this mole's coming off today. You're getting a mole removed. And I was just like, I guess I don't really want to make an appointment to come back, because who knows how long that would have taken. So I let them lob this mole off my back, which required Ryan to help me bandage it, because it's like in the middle of my back. I call Ryan and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. And his first response was well, that's going to be expensive. And they said they'd let me know in like a week if it was cancerous. Well, I had a ton of other stuff going on in my life at that time. I think Silas had gotten sick again. I don't even know. So I just didn't worry about this mole. I was like, I'm not going to worry about it until, because usually with all this stuff that they test on me, it always comes back negative. So I'm like, I'm not going to get all worked up about it. And people around me, when I told them they lobbed this mole off my back, they're like, oh my God, are you like freaking out that you might have cancer? I'm like, I really don't have time to freak out that I might have cancer. So I just didn't freak out about it. I was like, they're going to call me in like a week, tell me it wasn't cancerous, and I'm going to move on with my life. Had a fun little mole lobbed off, and life will be good. So I'm going to stop there. Hey, so, as you can imagine, I got the phone call that it was cancerous. And it was a crazy day at work. I actually was interviewing for a manager position at work. I was like, well, this is lovely news. And somebody else called me later in the day to schedule when they were gonna do the incision. Did my interview and everything. Long story short, didn't get the position. I'm still with that company. I just wasn't able to move up. And I have all this other stuff going on in my life. Mother's Day was coming up. We were finding out the gender of our baby that following week. There were some good things to look forward to. Did end up getting strep throat. Silas was sick. I don't think he had strep. Somehow I got strep. Again, I don't know how I'm like getting this stuff. I'm not getting it from Silas. I'm getting it, I don't know. I was battling that. I had strep throat over Mother's Day. I felt like garbage, but I powered through because it was Mother's Day. Really, I was like hanging out with my mom and grandma, and we had found out that we were having a girl. So that was fun. That was good. We did some baby girl clothes shopping because duh. And also picked out her quilt. My grandma likes to hand quilt a quilt for every new member of the family. So she was, you know, making sure she had enough time to make the quilt. Yesterday, I had the surgery. Well, again, I don't know if I should call it surgery. They didn't put me all the way out because I'm pregnant. They just numbed my back. And they had to use like a special numbing thing because I was pregnant. Like the thing they use when people are allergic to stuff. Again, I had chosen not to freak out about it because I had all this other stuff in life I was juggling. I feel like even juggling a 1-year-old is just a lot. Well, the moment I chose to freak out was like right before we go in there. And Ryan was almost getting mad that I was asking all these questions and just freaking out. Like, maybe I should have waited till Lexi, because I'm 21 weeks. I was like, maybe I should have waited till, well, Lexi's what we decided to name her baby girl. I was like, maybe we should have waited until she was 24 weeks and a little bigger in case something happened. Maybe I shouldn't go through with this. Like, total freaking out. And I want my husband to calm me down, and he's more like, well, if you're gonna freak out about this, you should have freaked out about it a while or talked to the doctor before. I mean, these are the things he's saying to me. Instead of the supportive husband, calm me down, you're doing the right thing, whatever. Because part of me is like, you know, I'm not in any pain. You know, why bring this on to myself? So, anyways, we get in there, and his support is more of a, I'm gonna sit there and hold your hand. He sat on this really uncomfortable chair, and they made him wear like a mask and everything, and he sat there and held my hand the whole time. So I'm super appreciative of that. They like cut me open, they gave me a bunch of numbing stuff. It took, from the time we got there to the time we left, it took about 2.5 hours. So it was quite a long thing. At the end of it, so my coworker, so I went to work that morning because the surgery or incision wasn't until the afternoon that morning, and I'm like eating stuff, and my coworker's like, are you supposed to be eating? Like, I thought before you had surgery you're not supposed to eat. And I was like, well, they're not like putting me out, they're just numbing my back. So I wasn't told I wasn't supposed to eat. So then I was like really nervous about eating anything. So I'm like, okay, well, I think I should eat like a little something. Maybe I won't eat that much, you know. And I drank some water, right? And then I went home to shower, and I was like, I was gonna drink more water, and I like forgot before I left. Because I had decided to go to the bank prior to, I set up some appointment at the bank, because since I had already taken the afternoon off, and was trying to squeeze that in there. Which that wasn't fun, and it was kind of rushed, and but that's life, right? So yeah, we get in there, and they get started, and yeah, they do the surgery. I'm totally awake. Super weird. For anyone who's gone through like a surgery like that where they do anything to you, cut you open or anything while you're awake. Really weird. So my grandma's done it and other people, and I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. And I was pretty nervous. I was crying. I was just nervous, anxiety, just it was painful. They were injecting me with so much of that stuff. They're like, well, we don't want to hurt the baby, and so I started to just put up with some of the pain, but they did end up, so I was only like trying to speak out if it was like really painful, but it was so tough. Yeah. So this whole time I was imagining that my scar was going to be horizontal, because I knew I was going to have this big scar. Like, that's the other thing that's like, I felt like I was making a life decision to have a scar on my back forever. I mean, forever. It's going to be on my body. This surgery, I'm going to always have the scar. So, this whole time I was like making peace with it. I was in terms my scar was going to be horizontal. I don't know why I thought it was going to be horizontal. We get home, and I look in the mirror, and I'm like, Ryan, the scar is, like, vertical. The stitches are vertical. Like, what? They're vertical. I mean, the mole was circular, so really could have gone away. They could have gone an X. I don't know. But I was really freaked out that it was vertical. Because I feel like, so it's right, it kind of lays on my back. I wear tank tops all the time. Like spaghetti strap tank tops with the built-in bras. It's been a thing I've been wearing since like 8th grade. And I just keep on wearing them because I like them. I don't know if they're really a thing anymore, but I wear them under everything. So spaghetti strap tank tops with the built-in bras. And I wear bras underneath those, but I just feel like it's extra coverage. Anyways, so I always pictured that this scar would sit kind of, it might peek out from the tank top, but it would kind of be in line with the tank top. Well, now looking at the scar, again, I haven't been able to take the bandage off because it just happened yesterday. So there's still a large bandage that I'm not allowed to take off for 48 hours. But the stitches are this way. So it's definitely going to stick out of my tank top. It's definitely going to stick out if I wear a swimsuit. It's definitely vertical. It's definitely goes up my back. It looks pretty high up my back what they did, where I thought it was more going to stay on the lower plane of my back. So that was a shocker to find out after the fact, that they were doing a vertical scar instead of a horizontal, I guess, incision, whatever. I can't use the right terms. My pregnancy brain this pregnancy has been pretty crazy. They get done with all that, and I go out to like check out, and I had to make an appointment to get my stitches taken out 2 weeks later. And I'm kind of feeling lightheaded when I leave the room, but I'm like, okay, I'm okay. And I'm making this appointment, and I'm like, no, I need some water. I'm not feeling good. And so Ryan goes to get me some water, and I go to sit down, and I was like, nope, I don't feel good. So I go into the bathroom, and I feel like I'm gonna like throw up or pass out or something. And Ryan's like, do you need me to get a doctor? And I was like, yeah, I don't feel good. Like, I can't walk out to the car. Like, I'm not making it. So apparently like 20 people show up. This is also like 4:45. Again, my thing was late in the afternoon. So I think the whole clinic like closed at 5. So I don't know if people were like done for the day or why there was like a million people, but they were checking my blood pressure. They made me lay on the floor and put my feet up. They were giving me water and juice and crackers and all kinds of stuff. I don't think I ever fully passed out, but that is the closest to fainting I have ever been. Anyway, so they eventually get me into a wheelchair, into a room. They want to check baby out because I'm pregnant, and so we got to hear baby's heartbeat. That was fun. But she was fine. My blood pressure was fine. My blood sugar was fine. I don't know. So, and I was pretty much, I feel like I was a big baby about the pain in the room. I don't like being chopped open while people are there. Like I said, I have really high anxiety about that. And I felt kind of like a baby when they wouldn't let me. So literally, I had to get wheelchaired out to the car. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't know. I kind of felt stupid for that. And actually, I knew one of the like receptionists. It was a guy receptionist there. And I'm pretty sure he recognized me too. But we didn't really acknowledge anything. But I'm looking all cool, going out to the car in a wheelchair. Woo woo. So it was quite eventful. My whole May has been quite eventful. And I just keep, my new saying in life is, it's not life if you're not living it. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but I just feel like all this unexpected stuff that comes up is just a part of life. I mean, you're not living it if if you don't live through all of these things. So, yeah, so I get home. I finally got some Tylenol in me, because I knew if I asked for Tylenol in the clinic, they were going to charge me like twice the price. So I was like, okay, I can wait till I get home to get some Tylenol, and so I got Tylenol. I wasn't able to lift Silas. I wasn't really feeling up to doing any of that. Ryan was making dinner and lifting Silas and doing everything, and he was pretty tired, so he kind of played a little bit and went to bed early that night. And I was able to play with him and give him some hugs and all of that. So tried not to make it too weird for him. Today, so Ryan has to take him in and out of the crib, obviously, because that involves lifting him. I'm pretty sure he's over 25 pounds now, and they told me not to lift anything over 10 pounds. So this morning, Ryan's like, okay, if you want me to take him to daycare, we need to go, like, now. And Ryan always leaves way earlier than Silas and I do. My husband has to be to work, I guess, an hour earlier than I do. We decided, I guess, so I just threw some breakfast in a bag, because Silas is a slow eater. He takes forever to eat breakfast. So I threw his breakfast in a bag. We took him to daycare and told the daycare provider, which is Ryan's sister, to feed him breakfast there. Because Ryan had to go to work, and if he was gonna carry Silas, so I took the day off to recover. I'm glad that I did. Anything that involves moving my arm, I feel like uses my back muscles. Bending over to grab things is painful. My whole back feels like swollen. And getting into a comfortable position. Sleeping last night, I did sleep. It was a little challenging. Even laying on the couch last night, I can't lay on my stomach because I'm pregnant. And I've never been a side sleeper. I've always been a stomach sleeper. I've never been a back sleeper either, so that's not really a problem. But I don't get how people sleep on their sides. There's a lot of people who sleep on their sides. And they say that you should sleep on your side, or something, like my chiropractor was saying. Sleeping on your side is like the best way, I think that's what he said. I don't remember. I know stomach was really bad because you have to lay with your neck either like this or like this when you sleep, right? And that's bad for your neck. I've always been a person, if I sleep on my side, I wake up, my arm is dead asleep, and I have to go through that whole tingly phase. I don't know how people sleep on their sides. Like, my arm falls asleep every single time. And I don't get it. So maybe it's something you get your body used to or whatever. But so last night my arm kept falling asleep on each side, and I was trying to pull it out. I mean, every time I would push up and down, even, it was bothering my back. Hopefully this all heals quickly, and the swelling heals quickly, and I get my stitches out on June 3rd. So yesterday was May 20th when I got the stitches. I get them out to June 3rd, which is exactly 2 weeks later. Ryan's brother gets married June 8th. Ryan is the best man of the wedding. Big deal, big wedding in the family. Silas is a ring bearer. He can walk now, so it's all good. But yeah, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get my stitches out. Hopefully they can heal a little bit before this wedding. And the dress that I have totally covers my back for the wedding. Not for the rehearsal dinner, though. So, but yeah, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But my husband is saying he's not, like, turned off. I'm, like, trying to come up with a cool scar story. Like, my husband just wants me to say I survived cancer. That's my cool scar story. I felt like it's skin cancer, though, right? I did a lot of tanning when I was younger. I moved to a town in Iowa where I knew one person and I'd met them once. So knowing them is a big word. That summer, sometimes my family would celebrate birthdays in the summer. So that summer, my grandma gave me $100 for my birthday. And I knew I was moving to this town where I didn't know anybody, didn't know what to do. I was kind of worried I was going to be like bored and stuff. So my solution was to spend this $100 on a tanning package. I got dark. I look good. I like tanning, guys. I still do to this day. I don't know. But I got dark. After my tanning package ran out, I had made some friends and stuff. And I had figured out how to, there's some different tanning places that were doing like free tan week, or, you know, where you could tan for free. I kept getting free tanning stuff, or use different email and you could tan for free, stuff like that. And I just continuously tanned. I tanned, the very first time I started tanning was for my senior prom. I was 18 for my senior year, so I was allowed to tan without a parent signature, you know. Some people, like, if you were 16, I think maybe you could tan if you had a parent signature or something, but yeah. So I was able to tan because I was 18. And so I started tanning on, I had, 4th hour was like the lunch hour at school, and I had that open purposely. So I would start tanning on my lunch hour daily. And that was my first forte into tanning. And then I've done it on and off since. A lot of people recommend before you go on like a tropical vacation, tanning before you go on the vacation, so that your vacation's not ruined when you are a lobster on the first day and it's miserable the rest of the days. You know what I mean? I've definitely done that for vacations and everything, and it's worked out really well. So I don't know. There's definitely skin cancer in my family. My grandpa had to have some skin removed off of his ear, because he got skin cancer. So yeah. So my battle scar is, I guess my story right now is that I don't want to like lie to people like, oh, I got stabbed in the back, that's why I have this giant scar. I actually have a friend who had a scar. Hers is vertical again, and I think this is why, or hers is horizontal. I think this is why I pictured my scar being horizontal. I worked with a woman who had like some kind of heart surgery, but they had to go in through the back of her body, something weird with her heart. And she had this horizontal scar on her back. And she's a woman I actually look up to and everything. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have a... And hers, I feel like that's a cool story. Like, I don't know, maybe. But skin cancer that, like, I kind of caused feels whatever. But I can say I'm a cancer survivor, and that's probably what I'm going to say. I don't really want to lie or say that I actually got stabbed in the back. Sword fight. I could make up a joke answer and then tell people the real answer, I guess. We're working on it. But, alright, this is a super long video. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but that is, I guess, the gist of it. So, I'm healing. Hopefully I get better soon. So, talk to you later.